Oh, there's Sundog. Hi, guys. Okay, it's about time to get started. Small group tonight, but to be honest, that works well for me. I had a computer malfunction the other day, and I am now working on a brand new computer. And as a result of only just getting it set up this morning, I haven't had a chance to do as much work as I would have liked to for tonight's presentation. However, we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to everybody who's getting a little further south and coming into Georgia. We're going to talk about the problem areas in Georgia. So, and as usual, if you have any questions, you can either shout them out or you can put your hand up using the little clicker, the little button there, and I'll see your hand raised and be able to answer your question. Or alternatively, you can type them out in the chat bar and I'll see them down there. So, with no further ado, because I have to pick up a car tonight for the, I'm picking up a car tonight to go to St. Mary's for the Cruisers Thanksgiving dinner. And I have to go do that so relatively soon. I did not plan today well at all. Share screen. There we are. Okay. Oh, this is not good. What's going on here? Okay. Bear with me for a moment, folks. The new computer is doing its thing to me again.
Looks good though. He looks way better than he did on the old computer. This is awesome. Sorry, Wally, you look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, unfortunately, oh, this is maddening. All of the permissions are all screwed up on the computer, and I am not sure whether I'm going to be able to do what I need to do here. Okay, we're going to give this the best shot we can and see what happens. I'm going to try share screen again. Ah, there we go. Good. It worked. Thank God for that. Every now and then we get lucky. Okay, welcome again to the Sail to the Sun class of 2022. What does our screen look like? Okay, good. Today's topic, of course, is Georgia on my mind. And for those of you who've been there before, obviously that picture is not of Georgia. That is Little Sisters Creek, which is just south of Georgia. And that was the 2020 Sail to the Sun rally, all racked up at the Free Dock in Jacksonville on the St. Johns River at Little Sisters Creek. Okay, so moving on. There are three basic problem areas in Georgia. Most of Georgia is very wide and deep, although half the time you're going south, half the time you're going south and the rest of the time you're going north, east, and west, because it's very windy and it's very twisty. But it's also really, really pretty. Now, a lot of people talk about jumping offshore, and it's a shame to miss it because it really is nice. And it is not the problem, the difficult area that a lot of people let on that it is. The first of the areas that you'll come to, though, that present any challenge will be Hellgate, and that's a perfectly appropriate name for it. Now, if you look at the thing on the chart on your left-hand side, you'll see you come down through deep water to the red marker. Don't cut the red marker short because there's a shoal to your starboard side over there, and then come straight across. Now, what happens here, and this is the tricky thing, this is the only inlet where this happens. You have the current not in your bow, not in your stern, you have it on your beam. And what has happened to more than a few people, including myself, is that the current pushes you out of the channel. Now, some people think as long as they're watching the markers ahead and they keep adjusting, they're going to be staying in the channel. That's not the case. What you have to do to make sure you're still in the channel is every half a minute, every minute, look behind yourself and see that you're still in line with the red or the green marker that is behind you and in line with the one in front of you. That way you'll know you're not being pushed out of the channel, okay? So as you come through, this has been dredged not all that long ago. So let's go to the chart on the right-hand side. As you come through, you can see you just run right center down the channel between the greens and the reds. And you've got lots and lots of deep water all the way to the very end where it shoals out to about 8 feet or so at low tide. And that's actually not bad at all. This area has had a bad reputation for a long time until it was dredged. It's slowly starting to shoal in again, but this season it's not bad. A friend of mine just went through it earlier today. You should be able to see his comments. Good morning, Wally. Entered Hellgate at 9:30 this morning. Saw about half tide falling. Saw 20 feet, about 3 boat lengths off of the marker G89, which is this marker right here. Saw 12 feet of boat length off of R90, which is, of course, this one right here. And didn't feel any real side current until he got out there. So I don't know why that happened. He should have felt some side current at the top as well. Anyway, he got through it quite comfortably. He has a 6-foot draft on his boat. So again, Hellgate is not the fearsome place you've been hearing about. Now, in order to determine what the tides are for the Hellgate area, you want to go to your chart, your tide and current app, and look up Egg Islands. Okay, Egg Islands is the current app and tide app for this area. And Egg Island is not within the charts that I've got right here. It's actually a little wee bit to the south here, but it's the relevant tide station for that. Okay, so that's Hellgate. This year, not a problem. Next year, who knows? But this year is not a problem. Okay, the next area, and this has been a problem area for the entire 20 years I've been doing the ICW. It's never been dredged. It's never been improved. It's just a pain in the ass. Little Mud River. Now, the thing to remember about Little Mud River is that 1 hour before or 1 hour after low tide, Little Mud River will carry 5 feet of draft, okay? It shoals out to about 4.5 feet. And even at 4.5 feet, if your engine's powerful enough, you're going to be able to push through it because it's a very soft, silty mud. Most people don't want to do that. So give it an extra hour and then run through it, and it'll run through it 5 feet. From 90 minutes to 2 hours after low tide or before low tide, it will carry 6 to 7 feet. And at 3 hours, just bring on the Queen Mary because there's lots of water. There's a 7 to 9 foot tidal range there, depending on the time of year and the state of the moon. Now, for tide prediction, this one is Wolf Island, okay? And Wolf Island is the island that's right beside it, this whole island right here. Okay. Now, at the south end, at the very south end here at the bottom of the chart, as you come by and go through the red and the green, there's another red 198 right over here. Make sure you give that a wide berth if the tide is coming in. And the reason for that is because that current is strong enough to push you onto the shoal that builds out from R198, and you don't want to get caught there. Generally, with Little Mud River, you're going to want to stay to the center, or for most of the length of it, a bit to the left of center. Always, as usual, on the curves, try and go a little bit to the outside of the curves because you'll usually find deeper water on the outside of the curves there. Okay, so that's Little Mud River. Now, the next challenge area that we have, oh, sorry, I was going to give you an anchorage. One of the problems with the Little Mud River for a lot of people is that when they come to Little Mud River, their timing's bad. They might be saying they're going to get there. They get there at 3:30, and there's still an hour to go to low tide. They don't want to chance it. Maybe they have a 6-foot draft and they don't want to get stuck. So they're now stuck in an awkward position. The best thing to do in a situation like that is to anchor out somewhere before you come to Little Mud River. Now, there's a number of decent anchorages immediately before Little Mud River in the side creeks. And the only one you want to avoid is the side creek that leads to Darien. And off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the river because a lot of shrimp boats come through there. It's actually a marked channel. But one good spot to anchor for the night, and that I've really grown to like, is a couple of miles before you come to Little Mud River. It's over here beside Creighton Island. So you're coming down, you come through Creighton Narrows, which is this stretch right here and all the way down through. And then instead of continuing to the southeast on the ICW, hang a right and sail all the way up here to just past this little creek here where you'll find about 12 to 15 feet of water, very protected, strong current, but excellent holding. And you can anchor out there overnight. And then you're only 2 or 3 miles away from the entrance to Little Mud River, and you can choose your state of tide to go through it. Now, one thing to remember when you're heading this way, right here, and you'll often see a lot of dolphins. It's a real good feeding ground for the dolphins. But there's a shoal here that is sometimes hard to see at high tide. Make sure that you obey the markers and give that shoal area a nice wide berth, okay? Because it will shoal out fairly rapidly there. Okay, Jekyll Creek. Now, Jekyll Creek was dredged a few years ago. I went through it a couple of times when it was 11 and 12 feet at mean low water. That ain't the case no more. It's down to 4.5 feet at mean low water, and that is not good. Now, if you use Bob 423 and you have access to the Bob 423 charts, excuse me, if you have access to the Bob 423 charts on your iPad, then you want to follow his route through there because it gives you a good solid, you can see the dotted line there. it gives you a good solid track to follow. Now, the problem here is that Jekyll Creek, the channel there is only about 30 feet wide at the moment. Okay, so in other words, a boat length out and you're going to be going aground at least at low tide. What you need to do is heading south, you start your turn by G19 about 300 feet before reaching it, and as you go past it at 60 feet off. You pass R20 by 100 feet off and R20A by 150 feet off. And apparently the newly dredged channel is further east than you might be thinking. Now it is now showing the channel is now showing 4.7 feet mean low water as of 2 weeks ago now. Jekyll Creek is also very sensitive to wind tides. So a strong east wind will increase the depths by as much as 1 foot. West wind of the same strength will blow the water out and decrease depths quite a bit. And it's if you've got a full moon, then again, lower tides are lower than normal and higher tides will be higher than higher. So in other words, there's an extreme shoaling problem in Jekyll Creek again. Once you're through Jekyll Creek, just to the south of it, you have the marina, Jekyll Creek Marina right here, just south of the bridge on your port side. And there's a lovely anchorage just past the creek here. You see this bright red shoal area, but just past it, there's an area of 8 to 9 foot depth at low water. Gesundheit, whoever that was. There's a area of 8 to 9 feet that's just lovely to anchor off in on the on your starboard side. I guess that would be the west side. And a lot of people will anchor off on the east side. There's not quite as much room there, and there's quite frequently a couple of derelict local boats there. So I've always preferred the other side. If you need to get ashore to walk a dog or something, there's a boat ramp right there. And you can just tie off to the boat ramp and take the dog for a walk. Okay, moving on to the next one. Whoop, sorry, getting ahead. Now, everybody worries about going aground. I did it myself coming through the actual cutoff the other day, leading a couple boats right at low tide. The chart that I had with the hydrographic soundings I had showed the deep water a little bit to the right of center. Turns out it shifted a little bit. What's that? Hello. Hang on a second there. Got some. Whoop. Okay. We have somebody who has their microphone on. Okay, that's better. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, I was coming through Ashbu-Coosaw Cutoff, and if you were still north of Ashbu-Coosaw Cutoff and you were close to low tide, the very end marker in Ashbu-Coosaw Cutoff, which is north of Hilton Head, which is north of Beaufort, in fact. Okay, you need to remember. Hang on, we gotta deal with that sound issue there. Hang on just a second here. Okay, we'll just mute them. There we go. Solves that problem. Okay. As I was saying, if you're coming to Ashbu-Coosaw Cutoff, which is north of Beaufort, South Carolina, and it's close to low tide, the two markers at the end, the red one for sure is out of position. Okay. And it's very, very narrow. It's probably 30 feet wide at the most, which is, it's definitely not in the right position. When you come through there, you want to be so close to the green marker that if you reach outside of your boat with your arm, you can touch the marker. Okay, that is where the deep channel there is. It's right beside the green. It's no more than, if you're 20 feet away from the green marker, you're going to go aground, because that's where I went aground, was 20 feet off. It's that narrow. So just remember the Ashbu-Coosaw Cutoff at the south end. Okay, now everybody wants to know how to prevent themselves from grounding. And I've always taught that there are 3 magic words to prevent you from grounding. And if you do go aground, those are the 3 magic words that will get you unstuck. And those 3 words are, whoops, there we go, wrong file. We'll find it yet. Half tide rising. Okay, everybody now say it with me together. Half tide rising. Okay. The reason for that, and if you're nervous about going aground in one of these areas, if you come at a place half tide rising, at a minimum in Georgia, you're going to have 3.5 to 4 feet of extra water under your boat. And that's enough to float almost anybody. Okay. At half tide and better, you're going to have anywhere between 4 and 9 feet of extra water, and that will get you through all of the problem areas. Now, if you should make a mistake and go aground, even with all that extra water underneath you, keep in mind that you've still got 3.5 to 4 feet of water still to come that will help you get off of a grounding situation. And then it's just a matter of waiting maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half before you've got enough water off you to float and then sail yourself out of the problem. Okay, so remember those 3 magic words if you're nervous: half tide rising. Time your passages through these difficult areas so that you can go through on a rising tide. Okay, as I said, today was going to be very short because I have to go pick up my rental car for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So we've come to the question and answer part. I should mention the webinar has been recorded for those of you who came in late, and it'll be available tomorrow morning on the Facebook Sailing and Cruising page. I'll provide a link for it there. And if you do ever have immediate issues when you're on the ICW, you guys can always text me using Messenger, and I'll try and get back to you with an answer. Okay. So if we have any questions here, now's the time to ask them. I wanted to point out that Einstein was actually a sailor. And he, of course, was the person who said a person who never goes aground never tried anything. Or no, he said a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. So keep Einstein in mind when you're sailing. There's a picture and a little story about Einstein. According to the story, his mast fell down regularly. He often had to be towed home. This sound like anybody else we know? Wait, we're talking about me here. He almost managed to drown himself and had to be rescued by a motorboat. Wouldn't carry an outboard motor because he despised machines. The sailboat in question was a 17-foot day sailor called Tinef, which means of no intrinsic value, and he sailed it extensively in New England. Now, he never strayed too far from shore. He didn't race. And as the article concludes, Einstein was a cruising yachtsman, relatively speaking anyway. Okay, so with that, folks, do we have any questions? Hello, hello.
Hi, Wally, it's John.
Hey, John, what's your question?
Not really a question, just an offer. I've emailed you the last 2 falls to see if anybody needed crew
Oh, yes.
to help get their boat down. And I'm still interested in doing that, either going south or waiting a few months and going north again. So if anybody's interested, if you can pass along my name and phone number or email, and
I can do that, John, or if you
let
want,
me know.
just post on Sailing and Cruising and let them know that you're interested in crewing. Also, there's several crew sites. I should have told you this ages ago. I never thought of it. Spin Sheet magazine out of Annapolis and several other publications. I think Sail Magazine, I know Cruising World for sure, have got crew sites or crew pages for people who want to sign up and crew for other people. So you
Yeah.
should maybe be posting in those ones as well. And there's at least one Facebook page that's dedicated to people wanting to crew.
Okay, I'll
There's just
look
a couple
into that.
thoughts for you. Yeah, there's just a couple thoughts for you.
Okay.
And like I said,
Okay, yeah.
put something on
Did
Facebook.
you make it? Did you make it to Miami yet?
Oh, not yet. I'm still up here in South Carolina. I'm in Hilton Head, one of
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite stops. I had some business to do here, and I'm installing a diesel heater on the boat. That's
Nice.
Friday's job. Yeah, I got tired of being cold, so of course the diesel
Yeah.
heater arrived today, and wouldn't you know, but it was sunny and warm all day. But it's supposed to be cold
Yeah.
again this weekend, so I'll be prepared for it this time.
Yeah, it'll be worth it.
Oh,
Okay, thanks. Nice talking to you.
You too, John. Thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions, folks? Don't be shy. John, how about you, Sundog? You folks, where are you now, by the way, Sundog? Are you in Charleston now, or have you gotten south? You got past there by now, I think, haven't you?
We're probably right beside you, Hilton Head.
Oh, where are you in Hilton Head?
We're at Bull Creek, where apparently Einstein met with whoever owned it at the time.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually in Hilton Head proper, and you're a little bit past us over towards Defowski Island, and I like the Bull Creek anchorage. That's a lovely anchorage.
Yep, that's where we are.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, I like that. I keep wanting to stop there. I know you weren't aware of it, but there's actually a free dock a little bit past where you are on Defowski Island. It's right as you come out of
Yeah,
the.
no, I know where it is.
Oh, do
Yep,
you? Okay.
we were kind of thinking about that, but seemed like just a dinghy dock, and yeah, so we didn't go
Oh.
that far, and yeah.
I've tied off there several times. There's a really funky restaurant with dirt floors and everything just in about 100 yards away from the dock too. Cheap beer and
Oh,
not
fun. Okay.
cheap beer and not bad food. Isn't that a hell of a recommendation?
Yeah, no, we're
Not
just
bad food.
looking forward to Savannah next, so we'll
Yeah. Now
go out there.
I was seeing somewhere that there's some free dockage available in Savannah right downtown. And I can't remember the details of it. And that, which is my mistake. I should have been paying better attention. But if you were to Google Savannah, free dockage, or just go onto Facebook and ask the question, somebody may be able to tell you what's going on. I don't know if it's still available, but I know that I'm going to say about a month ago, if not even that, they were making, I think, 2 days, 2 overnights free dockage available to cruisers coming through town. So you might want to be aware of that.
Yep, there is an if you have the settings on Aquamaps, it shows you the free docks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you can also get that from the ICW Free Dock site on either Facebook or
Yep.
or online. Okay, good. So you got free dockage in
Yep.
Savannah. I love Savannah. It's a lovely community.
Yeah, we used the one in Beaufort. It was excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. I've often stayed on Factory Creek in Beaufort. I like the anchorage there because it's a little shallower and the current's not quite so strong, and it's convenient to any shopping and that I have to do. This time we stayed in the mooring field because I wanted, well, more than anything else, I wanted to go in and have a hot shower. I got tired of being cold. Okay. Anybody else with questions here? Don't be shy. Okay, great. Folks, as I said, today was going to be a short one because I do have to go pick up my rental car. This has been recorded and will be available online. If not later tonight, then tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock or so. So for those of you who came in a little bit late, you'll be able to catch the entire thing there. And we discussed the problem areas of Georgia. Okay, thanks everybody. If there's no more questions, going once, going twice, 3 times. Be safe, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Oh, wait, I saw a hand there. Yeah, John, yes.
No, just waving goodbye.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's it. That's it then, everybody. Thanks very much, and we will see you all next. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks, Wally.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.